Hello folks, Michael Burrell here again. I'm actually adding a quick video at the very end of the Tuesday, October 30th Warren Board of Selectmen video. So today is Wednesday, October 31st. It's 1 p.m. exactly. And I'm doing this video because a Warren resident sent me an email this morning after watched me on live on TV there in Warren, and basically said in general terms that they agreed with me that Chairman Marc was full of crap in the comment that he said to me. So after thinking of that and having a good laugh this morning, that's kind of why I'm actually in a good mood right now. So I'm going to, since Marc wouldn't allow me to say much at all, and this is no disrespect to Marc. Marc and I talked after the meeting and the cameras were shut off, and he is allowing me to be on the agenda to lodge I'm working on the exact information, but it's either going to be it's going to be myself and a few others of my close friends of a citizen's complaints against Chief Spakowski of disciplinary hearings, including termination of his employment. And no, we're not waiting till the end of his contract. We're pushing for that immediately. So having a good laugh this morning reading that email, and thank you to that Warren resident who sent me that information, who understands what my story is, that Marc and I haven't been quite on the same page, and this is not a video to attack Marc. It's just a simple video, and Marc did apologize to me after the meeting off camera that he will allow me on the agenda, and that's all that I'm asking for. So this is an open video to the citizens and residents of Warren, and it's also an open video to the 3 selectmen, because this is going to open the door and open everybody's eyes, whether you're a resident or whoever you are who watches this video, that the Warren Police Department has lots and lots of problems. The officers, the bulk of the officers, are out of control, and I'm only showing this to you because I'm having a good laugh this morning, and I'm going to show you some of the evidence that I was, like, for example, I had this set of paperwork that I was trying to show Marc, and Marc wouldn't allow me to explain one piece of paper, and it was only just 5 or 6 issues out of my 50 to 60 issues just for me alone that are complaints against Warren police personnel. So I'm going to show you some really stupid stuff, and I'm going to just make this very short and sweet. I'm just going to show you little tidbits of evidence, and I'm ready to rock and roll on getting rid of the chief of police. And some of you may say, this seems like a personal vendetta. It is not a personal vendetta. Yes, it is correct that I do not get along with certain Warren police personnel, but I'm the type of person that follows the evidence. I'm not a vindictive person. If the evidence shows that a police officer is crooked and did inappropriate stuff, engaged in criminal activity, went outside the scope of the law, harassed the residents of Warren, harassed anyone in the town of Warren, which this is the case, and I have so much evidence that would sink the police department into hell, including the cops, the chief, the management, the sergeant, the current sergeant, the past sergeant. So yeah, there are lots of problems, and I have lots of evidence, but the reason is I don't come to selectmen's meetings and expose my evidence. I hold on to it, and there is current pending litigation that has been discussed with Warren Town Council and some of the towns insured to see where things stand, and so this is helping to so the reasoning for this is because it's exposing that I have evidence. The claims do legally exist and they are legitimate, just the town has not officially acknowledged or the town is actually also not doing anything about this. And this all points back to the Board of Selectmen, because they are the ones that were presented evidence dating that I provided back from 2004, 2007, 2008, 2009, to different boards, and it's all been complaints against some of the same officers, including Chief Spakowski, who started in 2007. So anyhow, let me just get to this. So this video is hopefully under 5 minutes long. So this is a funny thing. This is a little tidbit that I'm just showing you, okay? This is a video screenshot of when I went into Warren Police. The date, I don't know if you can see it up here, probably not, but the date is October 8, 2015. And it's Burrell versus the Warren Police Dispatcher. And this, and people have heard throughout town that I don't like, apparently don't like Warren dispatchers. This is an example of what happens with a Warren dispatcher. I won't name who this is, but it will come out at a Warren Selectmen's meeting. So I go in with my cell phone and I video the whole encounter. And this is over the assault and battery of James Gagner headbutting and hitting me in the face. So I go in there asking for Sergeant LaFlower, what's the status of my case? And this is what happens. I'm treated rudely. I videoed the whole thing, and I'm not showing the video to the public because it's being used in the litigation process to go after the police department and the dispatchers. So this is a screenshot of after she asked me my name and information. She figures it out. She calls Sergeant LaFlower on the radio, and because I'm videoing, this is the dispatcher right here. That's the back of her head. That's her two computer screens. She completely turns off all the lights in dispatch because I'm using my cell phone in the lobby videoing. She shuts off all the lights, and then I just watched the video before I got the screenshot, and I just screenshotted this just now. She's on the phone. Instead of calling Sergeant LaFlower on the radio, she's calling Dispatcher Pensinger, complaining that I'm filming, and then Pensinger ordered her, apparently, from what I'm hearing, her talking through the little opening here, to turn off all the lights so I can't see in there. So the whole dispatch center goes dark, and I probably have at least maybe 100 or so of these videos inside Warren Police Dispatch of inappropriate behavior. So in this case, she's turned off the lights. She's actually on the phone with Lisa Pensinger right now, and she actually called the officer in the radio and said that that Mike Burrell was in there filming her, and she felt uncomfortable and scared for her life, so she had to turn the lights off. So I don't know how you could be scared being filmed. I guess they're obviously, if you're not doing anything wrong, you shouldn't shut off the lights. If you're doing something wrong, I guess you turn off the lights. But anyhow, so I know who this is. I'm not going to say her name, but yes, the residents and citizens of Warren, you should be upset at this, because this has not happened to me once. We're talking probably excess of 25 times where they've turned off the lights. They've put a blanket over here so I can't look in. They've said rude things to me, saying go fuck yourself and shit like that. So yeah, so I've been absolutely mistreated by Warren police dispatchers. So let me get off that subject. So anyhow, so this is just a funny thing. I'm just including this in because the Warren Selectmen seem to think that I make this stuff up. So I want to put this video in respect to Marc Richards. Mr. Richards, thank you for putting me on the agenda, or in the future agenda about this. And I guess I should actually add to my complaint that I'm actually complaining about Warren police dispatchers. Now, this is from 2015, and I've actually complained to the Selectmen 3 times in writing from after October of 2015 on forward. So this is an action item that the Warren Selectmen have just completely ignored, but the problem is this was actually, I don't know if Gagner was the chairman, Mr. Gagner was the chairman at the time, but whatever. This was ignored, so obviously this is a complete public embarrassment that the residents of Warren should come to your selectmen's meeting and say, hey, I saw Mike Burrell's video, what's wrong with the Warren police dispatchers have to hide when they don't like certain citizens? So this is a funny thing, yeah. So this video is actually, this is at 13 minutes and 37 seconds at this timestamp right now. So this goes on for another half hour where she completely sits there, doesn't say a word for me, and Sergeant LaFleur never comes into the police station to talk to me. So she radios him to come in, but she calls him on the phone, or there's a phone conversation, and I just sit there, wait and wait and wait, and he never shows up, and I just say, what's going on? And I just end up leaving because I'm frustrated because they just gave me the shaft, meaning that they're making me wait for nothing, and there was no intention of them coming in the building. So yeah, I'm going to start exposing maybe some of these videos that I have inside the station that show the actions of Dispatcher Pensinger and her co-workers. And I have videos, I believe, from 2011 to like 2017 roughly. So there's a whole variety of them. This is just the stupidest one because this should be called Lights Out Dispatcher. That should be exactly what Warren Police Dispatch should be known for. So anyhow, I'm going to go on to the next thing because I'm sure this is going to exceed 5 minutes. So anyhow, here's what I was trying to explain during the meeting, okay? So let me go into this, and I'll make this brief, and this actually has to do with my complaint. So these are actually pictures. This is a picture from, sorry, I know I'm doing this quickly in front of the camera here to get this done. This is May 7, 2017. At 12:50 p.m., this is the Friends of the Town Hall open house day that they had. You can see there's an open house sign, okay? And I explain, and I'm going to show you some other funny videos of Officer Alexander Sinney, how crooked of a police officer he is that the town just hired, and the chief of police is covering up his actions. And then plus this is what I was trying to explain to Marc last night, so you're going to understand this. So here I am attending this thing, okay? So there's that picture. At 1:01 p.m. I go to my car to get my GoPro camera out of the car, and this is Detective Von Dauber parked next to my car in the whole entire parking lot. And so I take the picture because his car wasn't there in that other picture I just showed you 3 minutes or so minutes before that. He's parked next to my car. So let me continue on. I'm just going to zip through this really quick. Okay, again, May 17, 2007, 1:37 p.m. I'm now inside the Friends of the Town Hall open house. There's actually Marc Richard right there. So Marc Richard's actually a witness to all this, but he doesn't come forward and say that at a Selectmen's meeting that he actually witnessed what I'm about to explain. But this is why I'm refreshing Marc's memory, because he wants me to present evidence to the board, and this video could be included. But anyhow, moving forward. Oh, look what we have now. So what ended up happening is I'm tipped off by a wonderful woman resident from Warren, who then says, oh, Detective Von Dauber was here discussing with the Friends of the Town Hall, and specifically told them that Detective Von Dauber sent Officer Sinney, who was brand new part-time at that time, over to spy and watch me. So I actually have hundreds of pictures that I took this day. And here is a picture, and you can see how I wrote Officer Alexander Sinney at the top of the second stairs. Actually, as I'm going up the stairs, he went up the stairwell on the other side, and he's already there watching me inside the building because Von Dauber is having him. So Von Dauber actually sent him over on taxpayer funds to actually harass me and watch me, what I was doing and what I'm taking pictures of. So this is where it gets more interesting, okay? So here's another picture. On the second floor of the town hall, there's Alexander Sinney at the door. So heaven forbid, I'm inside here, stuck inside here, and he's watching my every move. And this is now at 1:40 p.m. on May 7, 2017. Here's Officer Alexander Sinney again, right there in the same spot, hasn't moved, 1:46 p.m. Here's 1:46 p.m. again, a close-up of him, and that's definitely him. So the chief knew about this. Detective Von Dauber sent him over, personally admitted to the Friends of the Town Hall staff and several friends of mine from the town of Warren that he was there to harass and watch me. No other reason. He's not keeping the peace. He's not making sure that nobody steals anything from the second floor. He's there to harass. So what do I think of Officer Alexander Sinney? you're a stupid idiot because you took orders which is not inside the protocol of Warren police procedures to harass citizens to watch them. And that's exactly what he did. So he took orders from Von Dauber and just did what he was told and thought it would be funny to harass me. Well, it's about to backfire on both Von Dauber and Alexander Sinney, and it's coming right now. So as I'm leaving on Southbridge Road, what Warren police don't know, and you're welcome, Marc, for this video and what I'm about to share, is I have a police scanner. The police scanner actually showed that Von Dauber radioed, and I recorded that audio transmission because the Warren police didn't know that my scanner, I had purposely connected an audio recording device to my scanner which recorded the police radio. Von Dauber radios as I'm driving by the car wash on the lower end of Southbridge Road that he says, he's coming up Southbridge Road now, you should see him in a little bit. So thank you, Von Dauber, for being that stupid to say that on the radio, so I realize that's me. So I make sure I drive under the speed limit, and then of course I get to the top of Southbridge Road near Bragg Road, and then there's a cruiser waiting and puts the lights on before I even pass and pulls me over for speeding. So here is the actual speeding ticket. This issue is actually over with, and I went to court on this, and that's what I'm going to show in a minute. I'm not sure if this is blurry or not, but anyhow, so it basically shows 5/7/17, the time, which is now, 5/7/17, date of the offense. Southbridge Road near Bragg, and it's 4:30 p.m., which is the true time when, because the town hall ended at 3, and I was talking to somebody else out front, and it was true, I left at 4:15 from down bottom, and at 4:30 he writes the ticket. So here's the funny part, Officer Alexander Sinney, your wonderful, exciting new Warren police officer, that I tried with the Selectmen to, by raising my hand back several meetings ago, the end of last year in 2017, and I was trying to warn the Warren Selectmen, you should not hire this guy full-time because he falsified police records. Well, I'm about to tell you that he falsified police records, and now the Warren Selectmen should be saying, oh, well, maybe we should have listened to you the first time. So anyhow, he writes me a speeding ticket for speeding, saying I was going 45 in a 35, which is 10 over the speed limit. He checks that it's posted, and it's radar and estimated, and $105 fine. And it says right here, if we can see it, Alexander Sinney is the signature on the ticket. So here, so as I said, I'm doing this really fast because I don't want this video to be long. So here's what I tried to explain to Chairman Richard last night at last night's meeting, that he did not want to hear, and no disrespect, Mr. Richard, I'm just trying, I'm now providing the opportunity to answer your questions and explain the evidence that you say, well, you got to give us the evidence. Well, here is the evidence that I was trying to show you, and you're going to get more. This is just the start of it. So right here, this is a picture I took on May 12th, which is a few days later, at 5:47 p.m., and this is where I got pulled over, right after the speed limit 40 sign. And look, this is Southbridge Road. Bragg Road is prior to this. This is going uphill on Southbridge Road. And look exactly there. There's a telephone pole and a speed limit 40 sign, and even prior to this, it's speed limit 40. But Officer Alexander Sinney wrote on his citation that the speed limit is 45. Says the speed limit's 35, and I was going 45, but he pulled me over before the other speed limit 40 sign and right after the speed limit 40 sign. And there's a speed limit 40 sign there on May 12, 2017 at that time. You're going to love this one, okay? I figured this out, and I got the records to prove it. And that's why Officer Alexander Sinney should be fired from the department, because I got him all figured out. And I've also figured this out for the chief. The chief has culpability with this issue too. So here's my check, because I appealed the Registry of Motor Vehicle traffic citation. Here's the endorsement on my check, okay? Right here it says it's endorsed by Santander Bank, Registry of Motor Vehicles, on 5 8 sorry 5 hold on a second 5/18/2017 at 3:48 p.m. is when Santander Bank endorsed my check for appealing that traffic citation, okay? Now that has relevance because the following morning, which is May 19th, 2017, a Warren resident from Southbridge Road phone called my cell phone and said, "Mr. Burrell, the police are at Bragg Road stealing that speed limit 40 sign." So I get in the car and I drive to Warren, and look now what happens. After Warren police were notified electronically that I was appealing the ticket the following morning through the Registry of Motor Vehicle system, communicating to the Warren police system that I appealed the ticket and I was going to be having a hearing for that ticket, the following morning so here's the picture. On May 19th, 2017, at 12:26 p.m., which is the fastest I could get to where that is, and look, the speed limit 40 sign is missing because the police pulled it out of the ground and stole it. So right there is the hole where the sign was, and right around the hole is footprints that were fresh from 1 or 2 hours before I took this picture. So right there is a motive on behalf of the town of Warren, taxpayers you paid for it, that they write me a false traffic citation. It's speed limit 40. He says it's 35. I argue and say, "Officer Sinney, the sign right there says it's speed limit 40. And after I appeal the ticket and Warren police, through the records I have, was electronically notified on May 19th, 2017, the speed limit 40 sign goes missing. So when I appeal the ticket, they can show, look, there's no speed limit 40 sign there." So if that doesn't show criminal motive of the police department, the chief of police, and Officer Alexander Sinney to set me up with a false traffic citation, then I don't know what criminal collusion, and I don't know what being set up for a fictitious and fabricated speeding citation. I mean, it's just imaginable that they would go to this extent to frame me for a $105 ticket, and Alexander Sinney hasn't even been there. I've never met him in my life prior to that May 7th day. Other than that, he's stalking me in the building because Von Dauber said so. And then him and Von Dauber are criminally collude, because I have the audio recording of the scanner transmissions, that I come up to Southbridge Road and they write me a ticket because I'm leaving town. So, okay, so now we're going to get to something better. So I'm going to show you the next pictures here. So now if I click this on my computer, this is me in my car. Well, what Officer Alexander and the Chief of Police and Detective Von Dumbass didn't know is that I have a body camera, I have cameras in my car, I also have cell phones, so I video and audio recorded the whole friggin' traffic stop. So it turns out, here's me in the car. You can see the blue light right here flashing from the Warren Police Cruiser lights. There I am sitting, waiting patiently, looking this way to my side mirror, watching for Officer Alexander Sinney to come back to the car. So also right here, you can see, sorry, no, that's right, no, right here, I'm sorry. Right up here is the timestamp on the thing, 5/7/17. It's 1:34, no, sorry, 3:34 p.m. Oh, that's actually, I think, an hour behind because of daylight savings or something. But anyhow, that time is... But anyhow, here's this information, okay? So you see, I'm waiting for Officer Alexander Sinney to come back to me because I already know he's writing me a ticket because he doesn't know and he doesn't know right on my passenger seat is the scanner hooked to the audio recorder. So then we go on right here. Here he is coming back to the car. I screenshotted this. So there he is with his glasses on, coming back to the car to give me the news. And I already know he's going to write me a ticket. I've already got him all figured out, and I'm just playing him along. I'm playing the whole Warren. This whole thing is being played by me because I knew that every time I come to Warren, I get set up for something by Warren police. Either they harass me, they pull me over, or something. So I says, well, why? So I have actually recordings of other incidents that I have interaction with Warren police officers, and they're very unpleasant, just like this one. So this is just one example, and this is what I tried to show Marc last night that Marc didn't want me to explain to the public, so now you're going to see it. So here he is coming back to the car, and here he is right here. He just handed me the traffic citation and my driver's license back, and I'm explaining to him in a calm tone of voice, and you can see he's Officer Alexander Sinni, because right there it says S-I-N-N-I. Nobody else other than Warren Police Officer Alexander Sinni, a crooked piece of crap. And I've complained, like I said, I've already complained to the Warren Selectmen 2 or 3 times about Officer Alexander Sinni, that he should have not been hired full-time. He should have been fired. And I also have evidence that he also set up other Warren residents by giving them false traffic citations. So here I am explaining to him, asking him to say, there's a speed limit 40 sign over there. It's speed limit 40 sign before that one. And he continues to tell me, oh no, I don't know how to read a sign. It's the speed limit's 35. And then he says it's speed limit 35 just before the 40 sign. And then after I prove him wrong, he then says, oh, well that sign, the sign before that one is actually a typographical error. It shouldn't be there. Oh, so I didn't know that a speed limit 40 sign should really say 35, but he's only following the law of what him and Von Dauber are doing on their own as police officers. So, and we already know this is motivated by Detective Von Dauber, because I just explained to you what happened to me an hour before I even got to the spot, or 15 minutes before I got to here. So I'm explaining that to him, and he doesn't give a crap. And I won't explain what he says or what he doesn't say, but he basically, yeah, short version is yeah, he fucked up big time, and right now the chief of police should be held accountable, and he should be held accountable, and Von Dauber should be held accountable. But Warren Police has not done a single thing to those 3 gentlemen, even though I presented written complaint about the 3 of them about this one incident. Never mind my other 40, 50 complaints that I've complained about inappropriate police behavior. This is just the one example. So yes, Mark, I've already complained to you already about Officer Sinni. I have talked privately to the other selectmen about this, but nobody has seen this evidence. But I'm not gonna put this evidence all over for the world to see. So I'm just showing you little tidbits, and then, yes, when I come to your meeting, I will give you the full amount of evidence, including all the documents, all the video footage and everything, and that should give you more than enough evidence to fire the crooked Warren police officers, including the crooked chief of police, including the crooked current police detective Von Dauber, that's trying to weasel his way out right now and say that he's injured on duty, magically injured on duty, and he's conveniently looking to apparently retire in the next few days and claim retirement and just disappear from the town. Anyhow, so I'm just going to take one more minute and go through this quickly, and then I will stop the video. I'm sure it's already longer than I really wanted it to be. Okay, this is a court transcript right here for the Board of Selectmen that I was trying to read last night again. And right here it says that Mr. Gardner's own testimony in court, because he went there as the Warren Board of Selectmen. He did not go there according to court records, because he claimed he was a representative of the town of Warren Board of Selectmen, which I've complained to the Selectmen that when he claimed the harassment prevention order me, saying that I was harassing him at Selectmen's meetings, and I won that case. He lied to the chief of police, who said that Gardner won the case. I won the case, and the claim was dismissed. But his own admission right here, Mr. Richards, just so you understand, and the other 2 selectmen there, and the previous selectman before that, is Gardner admitted right here that he charged me at 20 feet and headbutted me in the face, which is assault and battery. And that's why I ended up finding out at court thanks to Mr. Gardner, who screwed up, provided me the Warren police report from that Sergeant LaFlower handled the investigation, who was on my video several times saying he will not handle the investigation of the assault and battery of Gagner to me because it's an ethical conflict of interest, in his own words in my video, and I had no idea that he had conducted the investigation and tossed it out, protecting Gagner from being criminally charged with the assault and battery. So Gagner's own admission right there is, and I told the Warren Selectmen saying, and I've complained about Gagner saying that the Selectmen should allow me to file a complaint against former Selectman Gagner for the headbutt because it was a town problem and that town council should rectify that. And the Selectmen have not done that yet. So I'm sure that Marc Richard will address that as well, now that I have that piece of proof that he admitted that he was a representative of the Board of Selectmen and that he actually headbutted me as capacity as a Warren Selectman. And then he admitted in the court case that he was there on behalf of the Warren Board of Selectmen and not as Jim Gagner as an individual. So yeah, so that transcript dates from November of 2015, and that has not been shown to the public because that is going to be used in litigation against the town of Warren. Here's the next piece of paper. This is a Mass State Police report from Sturbridge that was faxed to Uxbridge Police with a description of me in here. And this is a problem, Marc, because this log entry was falsified by the state police official, who's an actual state police officer. And, oh, look in the last line, Marc. He says that he communicated with Sergeant LaFlower from Warren Police. Now, so it turns out I have the other records. So what I found out in Sergeant LaFlower's then 2015 police report is that he phone called the state police and ordered the state police what to write in the report, that it would change the state police's opinion that they should not pursue my complaint to the Mass State Police that a Warren Selectman, while on duty, headbutted and assaulted me in the face in September of 2015, and that I asked the state police to take a unbiased police report. Well, they refused to take any report, and I was in and out in 3 minutes, and I have the phone logs. I even have it on video and audio recorded. And Sergeant LaFlower interfered with the state police records and had them put false things in there. And his own Warren Police Records, Chief Spakowski, says that he told the state police what to say, and that the state police disregarded my complaint, and Jim Gagner got away so far, but not for long, with that assault and battery of headbutting me in the face at the Warren Senior Center in September of 2015. Okay, next thing, moving right along. Here is a records request, okay, that I got on July 16, 2018, Warren Board of Selectmen and Marc. And I'm not being rude to Marc. I'm just providing Marc the evidence that he publicly asked me to show him. So you're going to publicly get it. Okay. So I have records from the Board of Selectmen that came from about the Lois Fiegel gravel pit that had to do with the Warren Police shooting range contaminating soil there. Okay. Everybody, including town officials, have denied that they won't answer my question that it is a Warren Police shooting range, but we already have that evidence. So what I'm about to show you is the pictures when I filed a complaint that Warren police officers, including the chief of police, are shooting. There's no permit, there's no town permit, there's no nothing, and they are shooting in the Lois Fiegel gravel pit, contaminating the dirt. And it turns out it is actually in the Watershed Protection District, which is a federal and state protected water protection district, for no contaminants of anything within a certain mile radius. The gravel pit is in that Watershed Protection District, and having a shooting range of shell casings and lead into the sand has allegedly now contaminated that property. So everybody has said the police department has not answered any records request, and the Board of Selectmen has not lifted a finger to do anything about this, even though, as I said on public camera last night, that Marc Richard was given all the photographs and the evidence a year ago and has not done anything. But I am giving Mr. Richard, Chairman Richard, an opportunity that I will add this to my agenda item to request the Chief of Police be disciplined and fired, as well as the police officers, because they are the suspects of contaminating the soil. So nobody says, oh, it's not contaminated. Well, here's the town of Warren pictures right here. There were junk cars in there that were shot at. Here's a picture of the oil leaking into the ground and contaminating the ground soil. And remember, I just said it's a federal and state protected watershed protected district, that there shouldn't be any type of contamination other than dirt in there. And we already have contamination of the ground. Here's a barrel. No, I don't think that's related to contamination. Another barrel. And then there's some more pictures of some junk stuff in there. So at that point in time, it's confirmed it's a official Warren police shooting range, and the police officers shooting in there are knowing that they're contaminating the soil within a federal and state protected district. So the water pump, the well pumping for public water supply is West Warren Water District, and I addressed this to them, and they I won't get into that, but it turns out they were informed that the contamination of that soil of the property next to their well pumping station has contaminated dirt. Okay, moving along, I only got a few more things. This is a court transcript from October 19, 2017 of Warren Police versus Michael Burrell defendant of the traffic citation that I just explained to you, that Officer Alexander Sinney knowingly falsified in advance with Detective Von Dauber and the Chief of Police, knowingly falsified a traffic citation by falsifying the speed limit by saying it was 35 when all the signs, the two signs before and after, say 40, and I have all those videos and everything else. But what the Board of Selectmen doesn't know is, in this transcript, my attorney, who cost me several $1,000s just to appeal a $105 traffic citation, cross-examined the Warren police officer, who I just found out today is apparently leaving the department for some apparent reason. He testified that Von Dauber and him actually falsified that traffic citation, and he acknowledged the speed limit where I was pulled over before, and at that location the speed limit was 40. So when my lawyer asked, well, why would Officer Alexander Sinney write 35? Well, he only wrote 35 because he falsified a Warren Police public record saying that the speed limit was 35 when he knowingly knew it was 40. And he says on that citation that I was actually going 45 in a 35, but it turns out I testified under oath in this document that I was actually going 38 miles an hour, and that's on my cameras. And it turns out going 38 miles an hour is actually 2 miles an hour under the legal posted speed limit of 40, which means I was not speeding because I was 2 under the speed limit. So there's your evidence on one scenario, or two scenarios, of harassment of Alexander Sinney ordered by Von Dauber to me, and Von Dauber ordering Sinney to participate in a second incident of fabricating and falsifying a Warren police record, of fabricating a false traffic citation just to stick it up my ass. And so my only comment is, Von Dumbass and Alexander piece of shit Sinney, you should both be fired, and you should both be civilly sued as a class action by the citizens of Warren and taxpayers of Warren, and you should be ordered to pay all of us back paying taxes out of your pocket, because not only have you victimized me, both of you victimized me, you've also hurt the actual residents of Warren. You've also hurt taxpayers of Warren, and you've probably, I would guesstimate, probably 100 to 200 citizens in Warren have been harassed by you two people, if not more. So Alexander Sinney should not have a job, and he should have realized that when you're asked to do something outside the scope of Warren police work, you should say no, and saying, no, I don't feel comfortable doing that because I'm new, I want a job here, and I'm not going to falsify a traffic citation because Vaughn dumbass said to do it. So let Alexander Sinney's defense in front of the selectmen say, well, I only did it because he ordered me to do it. Okay, so you should go rob a bank, Alexander Sinney, and then say, Von Dauber told me to rob the bank and steal the money. Because that's exactly what you're doing. You're stealing from the citizens and taxpayers and residents of Warren. Okay, moving on. Here is the transcript of James Gagner versus Michael Burrill for the, this is the harassment prevention order that Gagner filed on me, with the chief of police going to East Brookfield Court with him to help to make sure I get prosecuted with the harassment prevention order. But the chief was not there. Joey LaFlower Jr., your canine officer, was there and put in the timesheet for 4 hours so he could actually text in the courtrooms next to me. He was texting the police department and officers of what was going on live, and Gagner lost. And here's the transcript of the whole thing where Gagner lied under oath and testified that he was acting on behalf of the Warren Selectmen, which was not a true statement because the harassment prevention order is not a, it's a individual private order from one individual to another, and cannot be a town of Warren Board of Selectmen matter versus a, versus an individual. So in other words, it can't be, it has to be personal to personal. But Gagner dragged the town Board of Selectmen, and the town insurance company should be liable for his statements that he said under oath, because he admitted that he was representing the town of Warren Board of Selectmen. So that makes town council culpable for his actions, and that makes my other town's insurance company culpable for his actions of what he said. Okay, the next thing, two more things. This is the police report that I received from the Board of Selectmen just recently this year, like a couple months ago. This is a police accident report, okay, that when Harold William Ramsey from 1341 Coy Hill Road decided to go to the Warren Post Office, and specifically decided to park his personal truck at a certain angle to my car that was parked near the laundromat, and he knowingly, according to my evidence, left his car in drive with the engine running on, this is November 9, 2017. So again, this is evidence for the Warren Board of Selectmen, Chairman Mr. Richard. You want this evidence? Now you have just little, these are just little tidbits. There could be a lot of other stuff coming, but I'm just making this simple. Okay. So Harold William Ramsey, and okay, and I guess I will say this publicly because I find it very funny, is Chief Spakowski got me these records and personally handed them to Rebecca Racera, but what Chief Spakowski apparently forgot to do was he provided these records in this Warren police log, incident by dispatcher Pensinger, go figure, because it says call taker Lisa Pensinger, and she actually has a lot of issues with me, and I have a lot of issues with her falsifying Warren police records on me. Is Chief Spakowski did not redact anything. So we have Harold William Ramsey at 1341 Coy Hill Road, Social Security number 055389351, with a date of birth of May 6, 1950. White male, driver's license number is S as in Sierra, 930-95674. So apparently Chief Spakowski was so pissed off getting me those records that he failed to redact Mr. Ramsey's social security number or driver's license number or date of birth. So, where I'm going with this is, here's the police report the Warren police took, okay? Now, I explained to you sort of what just happened, but it turns out, here's Mr. Ramsey here, Plymouth Rock Insurance, Harold William Ramsey again, a 2017 Toyota, I think it was Toyota Tundra pickup truck. Again, driver's license number S930-95674, date of birth May 6, 1950, white male. Registration license plate is Mass PC 5 Victor Lima 163. This is Warren Police Report, accident number 17-66AC, and then my information in front of the Warren Post Office. So here's what happened, folks. Everybody keeps asking me whatever happened. I've only told when I see people. So these are the pictures that brand new Sergeant Millette took, okay? Mr. Ramsey, as far as I know, intentionally left his car running it in drive with dogs in it. Nothing wrong with the dogs in it, but it turns out he parked it in a specific spot that if it rolled, it would smash into my car as a T-bone incident. And he only parked there. He couldn't park in any of the spaces. He had to park at a perpendicular, if I got that correct, angle to my car. So when it rolls, it goes boom, right into my car. So it turns out his car caused damage to his passenger front end, smashed into my car, indenting my car and damaging it, pushed my car 2 to 3 feet sideways because it was rolling at a speed fast enough that it propelled it sideways towards the laundromats, almost sliding it into the building. And then I sustained damage and a scrape. Okay, so why is this? Why am I explaining this report? Because I testified to Sergeant Millette that Bill Ramsey, in front of us, that we documented the scene, okay, that he admitted that he left it in drive and never put it in park. None of that is in the police report, and none of my statements, there's not one statement in there that I told Sergeant Millette that I said this was an intentional act. And then when his car smashed into mine, his response was, well, you shouldn't have filed the fucking open meeting law complaint against me. You get what you deserve, you bastard. And that's exactly what he said in front of witnesses. I even gave the witness names to Sergeant Millette, which none of those names appear in this report. And the report says Bill Ramsey went into the post office and the dogs, who were jumping around in the passenger and front seat, accidentally kicked the pickup truck from park into drive, and then it rolled forward. But the problem is with a Toyota 2017 truck, Toyota engineers say you can't do that because you have to step on the brake, first depressing it several inches, and then shift it from park to reverse to neutral to drive. So how does one dog push the pedal down and then the other dog shifts it from park into drive? If it shifted out of park like the police statement says, then it would have gone into reverse and it would have rolled the opposite direction towards the river. Instead, it rolled 60 feet uphill on an incline, crested the uphill, and then rolled and smashed into the side of my car. And when I confronted saying him, your car hit my car, it took him 5 minutes to come out of the post office like he didn't give a crap. So this is nothing personal with Mr. Ramsey, but I'm just providing the facts that I videoed, audio recorded, and filmed, and took pictures. And this proves that we went to Warren Police and said, we believe this is an intentional act. He intentionally left it in drive, and then that's his response was, as a town official, as the chairman of the planning board, he says, you shouldn't have filed the open meeting law complaint against me, you get what you deserve. Well, that made it personal, and that he did it on behalf of the town. So there's your answer to that, Board of Selectmen. And I complained about that, and nobody from the town nor the police department has ever edited the police report, answered my question why my statements and evidence is missing, and they actually sent it to Mr. Ramsey's insurance company so he would get his car fixed. And they said that, oh, it was all an accident, the dogs did it. So in other words, the police report is tailored to what Mr. Ramsey needed to not be charged. And that's the other thing, is he should be charged with negligent operation of a motor vehicle, like you or I would if we did that, and in our car rolled into somebody else's. All right, and the last thing is right here. This is a public records request from the Worcester County District Attorney's Office of Joe Early, Courthouse, 225 Main Street, Worcester. I received this on September 30, 2016. It's addressed to me, Michael Burrill, P.O. Box 542, Warren, Mass. And you can see it's got lots of papers in it. Okay, Warren Board of Selectmen, this is evidence that we got from the Worcester County District Attorney's Office of complaints of Warren Police corruption, of Chief Spakowski corruption complaints to the state police and the Worcester County District Attorney's Office. So you're going to tell me, Joe Early asswipe, that your office has all this, and you have the balls to send me correspondence, as well as Miss Mary Belrose, and also to Brian Corvo, which says that they received several complaints, including other private complaints of inappropriate police activity in the town of Warren against the Chief of Police, Chief Spakowski, and its officers, including Von Dauber, Marc Chase, Joe LaFlower, Sergeant LaFlower, the list goes on. And you send me this, and you still say, oh, we're sorry, we didn't find anything? Well, I don't know what to say to that, but I guess the criminal collusion, which I have provided evidence on, actually extends to District Attorney Joe Early's office and him personally for covering up the crimes dating back to 2006 that I have evidence of, that Warren Police just did what they want, when they want, and got away with anything they want of harassing the citizens. So the Chairman of Board of Selectmen, including Mr. Chairman Richard, if these are just 5 or 6 things I'm mentioning, including this video behind me. I don't know what more evidence, other than I could present you 150 things, and I could bring you 60 people from the town of Warren that have lived there forever, that are in the same boat that I am. This, as I said to everybody, this is not a personal attack on anybody. This is just a simple video of the evidence that I just explained, and just because I shown you 3 pictures of Cindy doesn't mean that there's 3 pictures. There's actually more, but I'm not going to spend time showing you 7 hours in all my cards. And that is why I'm trying, through the Board of Selectmen, through Chairman Richard, through Vice Chair Mr. Dario Nardi, and Clerk Mr. John Nason, I'm trying to explain to you guys and to the, I don't care who you are in Warren, I don't care if you don't like me or you do like me, if you're a resident, a citizen, a taxpayer, anybody in Warren should be watching this video. Tell your friends about it, pass it around, and if you have a Warren police problem that you're afraid to bring forward or discuss or complain about, saying, if I complain about this police officer, he's going to vandalize my car, I've had eggs thrown at my house. I've heard it all, and it should not be happening. And that is why I actually ran for selectman in 2015 in Warren, was to solve and stop these problems. But because I'm not there in charge, I can't fix it. The only way I can fix it is by what I'm doing now. And as you know, 1 person complains, it goes nowhere. 3 people complain, yeah, okay, yeah, maybe we'll listen. 5 people complain, oh boy, we have a problem. 10, 15, 20 people complain, you're going to be well heard. So we need to get together in numbers and put together a campaign to get rid of Chief Spakowski and the crooked piece of shit police officers that they are. And I don't say that to be a jerk. I don't say that to be mean. I was a former police officer, and this has nothing to do with that. If I was a police officer and did something inappropriate, I could be sued. I could be disciplined. I was warned what it was. So when I was a police officer, I didn't engage in anything outside of the box. This is outside of the box. It's not in, and I actually have copies of the Warren police procedures and stuff that I got back several years ago. It is not in their job description to falsify traffic citations and harass citizens and follow them around on taxpayer money. So with this, I'm going to close the video. I'm sure it's probably a lot longer than I thought. But anyhow, thank you for watching. And as you now know, this is actually a lot longer, unfortunately. But at least I added some little tidbits. And now you see exactly that when I speak to the Warren Selectmen, I'm always telling the truth. And that I was correct to Mr. Richard, that I have complained for several years and it's gone on deaf ears and nobody wants to do nothing. So now is the time, Warren Board of Selectmen, to make this happen. Let's have put me on the agenda and let's have a disciplinary hearing against the chief, starting with the chief first, because there's no way he's not aware of this. These records come from the Warren Police Department and the chief of police, so he knows what's going on, and I feel bad for him. I really do. Even though I hate him, I hate his guts, but it's, and I don't mean to say that to make it personal, but all he'd have to do is just apologize to me and say, look, we just need to go on forward. How can we get along? And if he just stopped harassing, but I've been harassed since 2004, and I have those records all the way to 2004. So we're talking, we're talking 10, 15 years that I have evidence. But I'm only looking to use anywhere between the last maybe 5 years to 10 years going backwards from today. Or maybe I just need to just focus on the newest stuff going back 5 years. And of course, as you smart people understand, you cannot, as you understand is, during last year, I believe 2017, Mr. James Gagner, who you heard some stuff about, he was the chairman of the Board of Selectmen. So you can't, so I couldn't, so all those years went by, and plus he was on the board before that, since 2015. So I cannot file a complaint against him because there's nobody above James Gagner unless you go to town council. I've already communicated to Warren Town Council, and they did answer my questions, and they said they will only handle a lawsuit and work on a financial settlement for me and the citizens of Warren, or they have to take a complaint, but they agreed that the selectmen would not normally take a complaint against a fellow selectman because then the board would be investigating their own member that they sit next to, and there's nobody higher other than town council in the courts to file a complaint against Chairman Jim Gagner at the time. So 3 years was wasted of my time that I could not complain about the police because Gagner protected the police, but Gagner did receive, and the board as a whole did receive evidence, some evidence, not as much as this, did receive complaints from me as well as other citizens, and I have copies of those, and they went on deaf ears. And there's even complaints from 2018 that Mr. Richard, being the chairman, some of those have gone nowhere as well. I don't understand why, and I'm actively investigating that. So I think, so again, I want to thank anyone. I don't care whether you hate me or not. This is not I'm not a divided person. This is about what's right for the town of Warren. And that includes citizens, taxpayers, voters, everybody. So anyhow, yes. So I'm just going to leave it there. Thank you for watching. I'm sure this is longer than it should have been, but obviously after watching it, I'm sure you've gotten an education, and I ask that you actually, I guess I need a request. So what I'm requesting is I would be interested, and my lawyer would be interested, or maybe just doing this personally without my lawyer, is I want to hear from as many people, and I will make a challenge. I want 200 people who have been harassed by Warren police, or maybe 100 people that have been harassed by any Warren police officer, whether it was a false traffic citation, a burglary, a speeding incident, drunk driving incident, any type of issue that you feel that you were abused and harmed by Warren police. That I don't prefer to contact me because I have some litigation issues in the works that are being discussed. So I would, I guess, contact the Warren Board of Selectmen, or I guess what I'll do is, yeah, contact the Warren Board. Actually, why don't we do this? The best thing for you to do would be to come to a Warren Board of Selectmen meeting, or have them contact me privately. I do not prefer to give my cell phone number out, nor my email, but if you know, reach anybody in Warren that knows me, then send me correspondence. But I want to work with as many people, and if I can get the 200 people to come forward that you've had an incident in the past 5 to 7 years, and you're willing to come forward and complain about the police department, you should be on the agenda as well, besides me, and then we should be all heard as a voice. Unfortunately, I'm only saying this because I've had enough of the Warren Board of Selectmen doing absolutely nothing the past 5 years. I have complained, I sent certified letters, and they have done absolutely nothing to discipline these people. So they've done so much more damage that, to me, it should be a financial restitution to all the voters, taxpayers, and we're owed money back for the misbehavior and criminal activity of the police while on duty. So I will end it there. Thank you for watching, and that's what I would like to see. That's my challenge. If 100 people can come forward, or as many as 200 people can come forward, we will then put this matter to rest and get a police officers and a chief of police of new people that can actually take care of us and do their job and not make it personal vendettas against citizens and voters and taxpayers that they don't like.